welcome to day 3. We're here, we've made it. All right, I'm gonna just adjust my camera a little bit here. Lovely. All right, my comments box popped up. I am stoked to be here. Oh my gosh. Yeah, this week's just been a little bit of a whirlwind. We've got some momentum going, ladies. So thank you all so much for those of you who are joining me live. It is my pleasure to have you on with me. I love to see the comments pop up. I love interacting with you guys. I'm used to doing Zoom all the time. Like I'm seeing people and I'm feeding off of what they're doing and what they're saying. And so, doing the Facebook Live thing and just like talking is newer to me. So anyway, if you're here, definitely pop on. Give me a little hello. I have some good questions for you guys today, so don't stay too shy from the comments box. So first off, today we're in the Confident Me challenge, right? And in my mind, a confident woman is someone who honors her body in the deepest of levels. What does it mean to honor your body? So like being in the yoga, I didn't grow up in the yoga community, but being in the yoga community for many years now, I heard that phrase a lot. And so if you're watching this video, what do you think of when you, oh, hey Rachel, what do you think of when you think of honoring your body? What does that mean to you? While I wait for the comments to come in, I'll share a little bit about what my perception of that used to be. So I used to think that honoring my body was abiding by the demands for sleep, for food, for whatever it was that my body needs. How there's some truth to that, yeah. But it was like when I was completely exhausted and wiped out, yeah, I'd rest. And then I'd rest so hard, like unable to move. And then when I felt like I had so much energy to do everything and give 150% to everything I was doing, it was like I would just let myself go, bust ass, and then end up in that same place of like completely wiped out again. Yeah, taking time to enjoy self-care. Absolutely. That there's truth in that. Absolutely. We're going to get into even more detail about what that means. So I'm curious. I hear this a lot. So who has said made a joke about, "Oh my gosh, my body hates me. My body hates me." I know. We've all said it probably at some point. It's this thing that we say like all the time. We kind of joke about it, right? Well, we're joking about like aches and pains. We're joking about like period cramps. We're joking about hot flashes. We're joking about like these things that are very real and are very uncomfortable in our body. So and I'll just give another pitch here. If you're just popping on with me, if you're new here in this last couple minutes, go ahead and say hey in the comments box. I definitely want to say hello to you and know that you're here. So moving forward, so we're talking about that phrase, my body hates me, and we like giggle and laugh and make a joke. But what does that really mean? Like when we get down to it, what are we actually saying when we say my body hates me? We're saying, well, our body doesn't say like that. Our body doesn't have consciousness in that way. It's our brain saying, I hate the body that I'm in. Right? It's actually, if you just like flip it around from the joke, the sarcasm, the real undertone to that is this not loving this body that you're existing in. So we've got two entities now that we're talking about. We've got our brain, and then we've got this body, right? These are two separate entities. They can work together in perfect harmony. I mean, ideally, like hypothetically speaking, we're all somewhere on that spectrum, but they can work together, or they cannot. They can be in this like headbutt where head and body is not. Hi, Lori. I'm so glad to see you. Thank you so much for commenting. I'm stoked you're here. Okay, so we've got the brain, and then we've got the body, right? We've got these two separate entities, and they can work together in harmony, or they can work in opposition. So I'm curious, on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being brain and body best friends forever, 1 being like kind of like worst enemies, like things are not so succinct. Where is your brain and your body right now? If you just like do a general check-in, you know, are you like at an 8, 9, 10, like best friends, or are you more on that 1 or 2 spectrum? I think we're gonna get a huge slew of answers here, but that's the thing, is that there are some of us who are down at that, really not feeling like our body and our brain are matching and meshing and getting along, and that's a hard place to be. So the reason that our brain and our body don't necessarily work in harmony is because the body gets totally exhausted. The body gets exhausted, and then the brain gets to call all the authority shots. It gets to decide what you're doing in your day. And when the brain's calling the shots are going to be comfortable, and they're going to be safe, because that's what our brain's all about. And that's not a bad thing. That's not a bad thing. There's a place for comfort and safety. That is our brain's job, and it does a really good job at that. We tend to live safe, comfortable lives. So the thing is, though, there's a time to get uncomfortable. That's our growing edge. So like yesterday we talked about the wedding day, like your wedding day or your prom day or that amazing vacation you took, like these fun, exciting events that you don't need coffee to show up for. You don't need like extra sleep to show up for, right? Like what is it about those events that make it that way? Well, it's because we're excited. It's because the other coin, we're experiencing joy and excitement over the things that we have prepared for ourselves in our life, right? There's a lot of power in that, in setting ourselves up for exciting, joyful things in our life. That can be a really powerful motivator. We got to get a little uncomfortable to do that, though. Because when we start to get ourselves excited about something, there's 2 halves to this excitement coin. The other half is anxiety. So when we experience excitement and when we experience anxiety or fear, those are actually the same physiological response in our body. Like you close your eyes, you feel the butterflies, you feel your sweaty palms, your heart rate increasing. Like you could be ready to grab your spouse's hands and say your vows, or you might be standing in the middle of a train track with a train coming at you at 100 miles per hour. Same physiological response in the body, but it's where's the brain at that point? Is the brain framing, is the brain telling you this story of, hey, you're in a really beautiful, safe place right now and this is exciting? Or is it telling you a story of, this is really overwhelming and you're not safe and you need to get out now? Okay. There's ways that we can shift that inside of us, so that the things that we perceive as being so scary and fearful it's like a little mind trick. It's just our brain. It's this computer between our ears. We can trick it so that it actually does experience excitement for the things that maybe are a little scary, and that can be super, super powerful. So I want to draw you guys a picture. Okay, so let me get my handy dandy whiteboard ready. All right. I love whiteboards. I love them. I use them for planning for everything, and I have big ones and I have little ones, and I want to paint my whole house in whiteboard wall paint someday. um, so we're gonna draw a picture of a house. Beep. So there's the attic, and then we've got like the main part of the house, and we'll put a little door there and some windows. I'm obviously not an artist. We have some amazing artists in this group, by the way. I didn't even know, but I am not. I'm an artist with my body. And then we've got the basement, and I'm just gonna put like flood water down there because it's kind of funny. Okay. So this is our feelings house, all right? And it kind of describes the spectrum that we can exist in. So if we're existing down in the basement, we're like hanging in the hammock down low in the basement here. This is when you have energy to do nothing. This is like we're completely wiped out and all I can do is sit in front of a screen or watch movies, or like there's no bandwidth for anything, or sleep. No bandwidth for anything. And then the other side of the spectrum is when we're up in the attic. So here, I'm going to draw like crazy dancing person, because this is when we feel all of the energy. We've got this huge momentum. We can do everything in the world. Everything on the to-do list gets checked off. We've got all this busy work. We stay like busy, 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 busy. And we feel good when we're getting all this done. But it's like super busy. There's no pause. And the reality is when we get up into this kind of place, it's not super productive because it's all about the busy, and we're not anchoring in our priorities and what's really important in our life, because it takes coming down into this main floor in order to balance ourselves, in order to find that equilibrium enough to figure out what it is that we really want, and then to find the deep internal motivation to go about doing those things. So, and then as you go about doing those things you want, you're gonna feel this flux. But the idea is that you're staying here, and maybe you're laying on the floor of your main floor sometimes. Maybe you're like dancing up on the ceiling of your main floor. But the idea is that to honor the body is to stay in this place of homeostasis, so that our nervous system can be balanced, so that we can be making conscious decisions and get out of this tunnel vision that we find ourselves in. Right? So and just to be honest about part of my story is that I actually, this has been like the pattern of my life, is moving through these extremes, and I took psychotropic medication for 7 years of my life to help me to stay in this place, because I couldn't even manage going back and forth from the basement to the attic over and over and over again, and the cycling. I mean, there's no break. That's the tunnel vision. It's just like, how do I even stop this? So I'm going to tell you a story. And when I was, before I tell you a story though, real quick. So the reason, I think that something that really perpetuates this extremeness, this lack of balanced homeostasis, is we're dumped on with shoulds. Like our whole fucking life, people are telling us what we should do and what we shouldn't do. They're shoulding all over us. That's what I like to call it. We're told that we should eat a certain way. You shouldn't eat those foods. You should exercise. You should, take care of your house in this certain way. You should. It's like that right there, that should over and over coming around in our headspace. Like, that's enough to like throw someone right into basement space or right into attic space. And then it's like, but you see, then we're missing this internal piece. Then we're just doing all the shoulds that all these people on the outside are telling us that we're supposed to be doing. Right? So for years, so when I was just out of college, actually, I worked for this really great chiropractor. And I ended up handling all of his new patient everything, like from start to finish. And so he had me teaching people how to eat, how to exercise, what exercises to do for their spine, when to come in for appointments, like the full 9 yards. Like he had it all mapped out, and my job was to teach this to people and to have them implement it in their life. So and it was cool. I actually loved it, and I really thrived. Like I did well in that kind of environment because I was really passionate about what I was doing. Like we were seeing people's lives change. We were seeing miracles happen. I mean, it was a really incredible place. But what happened was, while I was at work, I was preaching all of this stuff, and then on my drive home, I'd be getting Noodles and Company, filling up on carbs, and then going home and eating ice cream. And then on my way to work, I'd be getting an Einstein bagel, and then I would be going to work and I'd be telling people all day long about how they shouldn't eat bread and they shouldn't eat carbs. And I was puffy. I was the heaviest that I've been in my life. I was passionate about what I was doing. Like it kept me going. Like it really did. And I did well because of that. But I was living a life of hypocrisy. I knew, and I felt guilty about it. I knew that I was not living the kind of life that I was preaching to these people about. And I knew that I was called to live a healthy life. But for whatever, like in that moment, I didn't know why. Like, why can't I break out of this? And that question led me on this big journey of understanding that there's a lot of internal work that needs to be done, a lot of internal reprogramming and questioning and curiosity that needs to be done in order for us to live an integrated life, to live a life where we are speaking and we are doing and we are thinking all the same things, because it's coming from this place of principle. It's coming from this place of priorities, of what you really want to be doing. So the conclusion that I came to through my experience in the health and wellness realm for decades, is that the only person who knows what is truly best for you and how to honor your body is you, my friend. You are the one who knows. It's not these people telling you you should. It's not me telling you you should. It's you. Like I have clients. I could tell them to work out every day, but that might not necessarily be the best thing for them. It could be, but what's really important is that they're checking in and they're getting curious about what's happening on the inside, and starting to unwind like the resistance behind doing these things that we do want and that we know are beneficial to us and would completely radically change our lives forever. So my solution, I'll make sure I didn't miss anything. Okay, so my solution for you guys, so like we want to honor the body. Oh my gosh, it's been a while since I've seen anyone in the comments box. Who's still with me, ladies? Who's still there? Are you hanging in? You're hanging in? The solution, I just hit on it. It's to go within. So first we gotta pause. So first we've got to like recognize like this is happening, and we have to pause and take a moment and realize that. Be like, oh, I feel out of balance, or I feel like my homeostasis is off. Pause. That, my friend, is the hardest thing to do. But by showing up for this video right now, you're doing it. This is a little bit of a taste of that pause. So we start to see it. Okay, and then we gotta ask, we use our brain. We ask the brain, where am I? Am I like can't even move right now, paralyzed by fear? Or am I like keeping myself so busy and full and distracting myself from what I really need to do? And so once you determine, so let's say like we're up here, right? I mean, I feel like I experience a lot of this down here. This is a very real thing up here. And say like we're here. What, number 2, we need to bring it down towards the main level. Identify which direction you gotta go. So for up here, we need to take it down this way. And then if we're down in the basement here, we need to shift the notch up this way. This is how we honor the body. Not by doing what we should do, not by doing anything. It's by identifying where you are and then finding a little shift. So you identify what direction you need to go. Then we move into the body. Now we take the brain out of the picture and we ask the body, in your heart of hearts, what's something that I actually could do right now that would shift me? It's not going to be something on your to-do list. It's probably not going to feel very important. If you're down here, you might have to do like some little type of something, like, say like I'm laying on the couch. This happened to me. I'm laying on the couch. Can't do anything because I just can't even move. My feet are cold. Maybe I could get up and put a pair of socks on. All of a sudden I'm up, I'm moving, and I did something to care for my body, and then maybe I go back to the couch. But you know what? There's this internal vibration that's gonna shift a little bit up, up, up when you do that. And then when you're in this other place, when you're in the attic and you need to bring it back down, maybe it's, I'm gonna sit down on my couch for 1 minute. I'm going to take 1 minute pause to breathe and to check in. Okay? So to honor your body is to stay in this balanced homeostasis rather than being stuck in this yo-yo whiplash of working so hard, go, 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 to can't do anything, this back and forth. So this is so much easier said than done because of that tunnel vision. So when I work with people, it's all about getting a pause and taking a break so that you get a pause from that tunnel vision. You can start to widen the lens and see the scope of your life a little bit differently. We practice doing that every week and then every day until it becomes this normal, habitual part of your life, and there's this tending to what's going on the inside over and over again, building trust, building confidence. Right? So and in my program, I actually end up working with people for 3 or 4 months. It's this extended time. And it's because that's what it takes to do the work necessary to become authentically confident and to authentically trust in yourself. So it's 1/3 of the year. That's a long time. And people see profound shifts in their life. I was just, we're oh my gosh, we're over time. I'm going to wrap it up. I have one last little story I want to share with you. So I have this client, and she's been working with me for about 6 weeks. And this morning she told me that she feels 180 degrees different from where she started. 180 degrees. Rock star woman. And she said she actually feels good. She actually is sleeping for the first time in 3 years. She's waking up excited. She's eating more, like eating a lot more than she has in a long time. And she's slimming down and feels better than she ever has. And this is the power of starting to look within to determine what it is you're doing with your life. Because you start to feel this excitement. You start to feel this inner fire, this confidence emerging, because you know that you're on your right path, and you know that you're moving towards where you need to be going and what you need to be doing. What you need to be doing, not what you should be doing, but where you are to be going. Big difference. Big difference. So, oh my gosh, thank you so much for being here with me today. Tomorrow, we are going to talk about nourishing the body. So we're going to get a little bit more into the nuts and bolts of like, what does self-care look like in our routine, and then I'm going to confront our culture about body image, and that's something I'm really passionate about. I'm really passionate about women building each other up And I think that we also we have a tendency to tear each other down. So we're going to talk about kind of like what that looks like in a family, what that looks like in a household, and how we can move that and teach our daughters and teach this next generation coming up to be confident, and to love themselves. So I'm stoked for tomorrow. Today was so good. My heart's full. I just feel I feel so full being here with you guys and having this honor to talk about these subjects that are very dear to my heart, and I know that they are very impactful for a lot of you. So if you have any questions, if you have any comments, definitely pop in the box. And we've got PDF questions, so you can fill out your questions for today. Thank you, Lori. Thank you, Lori. I know you've been with me in yoga classes, and I've talked about that should thing. I hope that clarifies. That makes more sense. Yeah, so anyway, you ladies are wonderful. Thank you so much for being here, and I will see you tomorrow. And don't miss Friday. So if you got to catch replay today and Thursday, okay, but Friday come live. We're gonna have fun. It's gonna be upbeat. We're gonna talk about fun and pleasure, and we're going to do some dancing. So anyway, make sure that you're there, and I will see you tomorrow. Bye, ladies.